Hello guys, NautoAis here, and I want to give my thoughts of the Nintendo Partner Showcase Direct that happened on February 5th, 2026. Yes, so most people are disappointed because they want news about the first party game. Kind of funny because I always think that if you're complaining about a partner showcase, then you're telling me that the reason you buy a Nintendo console, the Nintendo Switch 2, aka the Switch Pro, is just to play first party game. Maybe I could be mistaken. I'm so confused. For me personally, when I see Nintendo console, when I have my Nintendo Switch 2, I only treat it as a secondary console that plays Nintendo games, and that's it. Yeah, I may have third party games, but to some extent that if I feel like playing it on the Switch 2 because I'm somewhere that I can't really access my PlayStation 5, I'll play those third party games. But mostly, when I play the Switch 2, I'm only playing Nintendo games, first party games, and that's it. But that's just me. I would be willing to play more third party games on the Switch 2 if they have trophies or achievement, because of course, as of right now, they don't have some sort of system wide achievement in the system. But of course, there been a patent story. I did talk about it, but that's a different story there. With that said, I'm gonna give my thoughts of the announcement that happened at the Nintendo Direct that I am interested, especially the Japanese side to some extent. There were some Japanese only announcement in a montage, but there is one game, and I am also planning to give my thoughts about this particular game because it's been a game that people wanted. It's been over 40 years, but finally, guess what? They finally released this IP, and that is the Goemon Collection celebrating its 40th anniversary. Catch! It's only going to be in Japan, released on July of 2026, but yeah, it is only in Japan of right now. You can tell why. So the gist of it is that in the West, yeah, there were some Goemon games that came out. Namely, the first one for the Super Nintendo, the N64, and a Game Boy, and that's it. Anything else was never been released outside of Japan. My guess is that it didn't really sell. Yet there is a archive of Goemon, but that's a different story there. So in a different video, I'm gonna give my thoughts about this. Will it come out outside of Japan? Will it not? And most people are of right now is that the reason this is only going to be a Japanese exclusive is it's going to be 13 games. Most of them never came out outside of Japan. And do you think Konami have the resource to localize this game? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, because another game that I'm going to be talking about later is coming out worldwide. It's already out digitally via Shadow Drop, and some of those games were never been outside of Japan, and they got localized. And in the case with the Yu-Gi-Oh collection for the Switch, it's really unknown that if all the games were translated. From what I understand, the people who bought the collection, some of the games that never came out of Japan were still in Japanese. I mean, it is what it is when you do. Heck, the game that I bought for the PlayStation 5, the Tecnos collection, some of those games are only in Japanese. They never really localize it. I mean, it depends. I mean, the Ninja Mario collection, believe it or not, especially the Famicom, yeah, it finally was released and localized. I mean, they probably could, but again, like I said, it's going to be a different story there. That's some of the games that mentioned in Japan, especially Goemon. But like I said, different video. I'm going to give my thoughts about it. Hopefully, they will release it. They'll consider it maybe 2027, but we'll just have to wait and see. So with that said, I'm going to give my thoughts of the games that I am interested that was announced. First of all, is Orbitals, coming in summer of 2026. It is sort of a two-player simultaneously tag team, kind of like if you play that guy's game, Brothers, Split Fiction, No Way Out, that it takes two people and then you have to cooperate to find a solution to get past the level. It's something like that with this game, so it is interesting because it's an animation style game. The only drawback is it is a Switch exclusive. I'm not really happy about that because I'm not gonna lie. When I hear Switch exclusive game, I'm not happy. But when I hear PlayStation exclusive game, I jump for joy. That's just me because I prefer to play my third party games on PlayStation over Switch because at least I get trophies, but that's just me there. So moving from that one is Tsubasa II. Yes, this is a soccer game based on an anime. If you want to know about the anime, you can watch it on Netflix for the like the first season, whatever, and then on Crunchyroll, it's a later season where Tsubasa is a bit older. But yeah, so this game, the reason it's called Tsubasa 2, because it's already been the first game that was already in the other console. So it's a sequel. I don't know. They said it's going to be an original story, but we'll just have to see. But now I'm surprised. A sequel to Captain Tsubasa. So, I mean, I recommend watching the anime. It's not that bad, but again, to each their own. And then a Switch 2 edition of Hollow Knight, which is okay, so never did. Why not? And of course, if you have Hollow Knight for the Switch, you get it an upgrade for free. Kudos. Yes, this game's old. It's been in the PS4, Xbox One. It's unknown if there's a PS5 or Series X. I haven't paid attention. I have played the game before via PlayStation Trial, and for me, it is a Metroidvania game, but once again, it's one of those games that you have to figure out where to go. I'm like, I don't have time for it, but it's a good game. I mean, even Silk Song, people love it. I mean, kudos to that one. So moving from that one is a release date for The Adventure of Elliot. It'll come out on June 18th, 2026. So this is sort of the 2D HD, sort of a Zelda type game. So it's a hack and slash. It has its own story. Hopefully it's going to be a demo on the PlayStation 5, but yeah, this summer. But it looks good. I mean, if you've been playing those HD 2D games, they are fun. Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, Live Alive, they went to that approach. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chrono Trigger is going to be that approach, but that's just a rumor there. But yeah, so this game is going to come out this summer. And then a Shadow Drop. I don't know if this is the Shadow Drop that Switch Force mentioned. Hey, but it's a good game. And kind of related to the Goemon Collection that was announced in the Nintendo Direct in Japan, Super Bomberman Collection. So 7 games, including the 2 NES game and then the Super Nintendo games for $20. It's out now. So I mean, it's not really that bad if you're an Uber Bomberman fan. Surprise! I know a lot of people sort of kind of complain, oh, where's the Saturn version? Which a lot of people like that. There's also the Neo Geo version. There's also the Game Boy. I don't know. I mean, like, it is just $20. Maybe if this sells well, they'll do an expansion pack, maybe a free update, but that's gonna be generous for Konami. But yeah, right now it's just the 2 Famicom games, 5 SNES game, and of course, if you didn't know, the later Bomberman, Super Bomberman 3 and 4 was never really launched in Japan. You can play it, and from what I understand, they said they did localize the game, so kudos for that one. Again, $20. Maybe they can add more per se, and then maybe for a Switch exclusive, Bomberman versus Wario, because there's that game. But we'll just have to wait and see. But even if it's not, in the case with like the Game Boy, NSO, just saying there. But hey, props, $20 for this game. And for people wondering, will there be a physical release? Konami basically announced there will be, but they're not going to be the one in charge. It's going to be someone else. From that one is a release date for Final Fantasy VII ReBirth. Yes, the second part of the Final Fantasy VII remake. Finally, it's going to come out June 3rd, 2026 on Switch 2 and the Series XS. So again, if you don't know the story behind this, here's the gist. It was starting as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. They were focusing on that one because Final Fantasy VII and PlayStation kind of worked well. Look what happened to the original Final Fantasy VII of the PlayStation when it was released in 1997. People flocked to it. Most common reason people buying a PlayStation is because of Final Fantasy VII. It is what it is there. But when it came for this ReBirth remake trilogy, yeah, it didn't really work. The PS4 one for the first game kind of sort of did because it was a PlayStation 4. Of course, the second game is exclusive only for PlayStation 5. Not a lot of people have PlayStation 5 at a time. Didn't really sell because of that. Not because the game is bad, because I played it. I like it. Could have been at least on Steam at the same time. Well, I did talk about it before. But now it's going to be on the Switch 2 and, of course, Series XS. And the director even announced that for the third game, it will be a worldwide release simultaneously for all consoles. You might say, why? I thought they have an exclusive deal with Sony. Well, they do, but the deal is that it has to guarantee that the game would sell or make them money. It didn't, so null and void. I'm saying there. Case in point, another example is Tekken Cross Street Fighter. And the original plan for that not anymore. I mean, you got a Kuma in Tekken 7 that's close to a Tekken versus Street Fighter, because one of the stipulation was that Street Fighter Cross Tekken has to sell. It didn't sell, so Namco Bandai said, "Yeah, we're done with this project. We're just moving on," and that's what happened there. But it is what it is there. And then from Capcom, Pragmata coming on April 24th, 2026. By the time it's recording, the demo's out. I played the PS5 version. It's fun for what it is, but it is just a third-person shooter with a fast action puzzle hacking game. So it is what it is. I mean, not really too original, but I mean, I've been playing a lot of third-person shooter, Gears of War, Saint Row, Grand Theft Auto. So you kind of see why, but it is something different. But I'm surprised they did not mention anything about a amiibo feature, because there is a Diana amiibo, but it is what it is there. But hey, if you're interested with this game, maybe for me, in the long run, if it's on sale, because it's not that bad for a game, but again, you never know. Right now, it's it's gonna come in April, but give it probably 6 to a year. I wouldn't be surprised if there's gonna be some sort of discount. I mean, it is what it is. What can you do? I mean, Monster Hunter Wild was good, but it didn't do sale to a point that I think some within a year, they're already doing a price drop to some extent sales. But again, what can you do? Well, from that one, it's from Falcom. Kyoto Xanadu. Yeah, it's sort of a spin-off to Tokyo Xanadu. It is a Falcom game that takes place in a different universe where it's real world, and that if you're talking about the Trails game, in that world, the Trails game is sort of a franchise. That's how it works. But anyway, so they show this game. It's sort of a Metroidvania with like a arena battle. So it's sort of interesting, but again, gotta wait and see. Hopefully this time they do stuff, because if they know, Tokyo Xanadu did not have, but that was, Falcon was just trying to put their foot in the West, trying to showcase the game, introduce the game to the Western audience. Maybe they were just trying to be safe about it and not spend too much with English dub. But now, hopefully, this one will have English dub. And then moving from that one is Digimon Story Time Stranger, finally coming out on the Switch 2. And there's your option, because this game was already out in the other console. Probably they're just looking at it. Is it worth putting on the Switch 2? It is what it is there. But again, coming out this year. And then, sort of a sequel expansion to GranBlue Fantasy ReLink. It's called GranBlue Fantasy ReLink Endless Ragnarok. So it's sort of an expansion, because I'll talk about it later, but it's technically more story about the ReLink timeline or the story itself. And if you didn't know, GranBlue Fantasy ReLink was a PlayStation exclusive. I think it's also on Steam. But that's it. So finally they're going to put it on Switch 2. Would be also on Xbox. Who knows? And that if you have the original ReLink for the PlayStation 5, they offer you a $30 upgrade for it to play the stuff, the content from Endless Ragnarok. So props there. So sort of more about GranBlue Fantasy. I like that. And of course, you didn't know, Cygame also announced that finally the mobile game GranBlue Fantasy is going to be on Steam this March. No, it's not going to be mobile phone. And people who played the Japanese version in English text, unfortunately, no cross progression. It's going to suck there. However, with ReLink Endless Ragnarok, cross save and cross progression. That's awesome there. Even cross play. Anyway, moving from that one is more info about Monster Hunter Story 3. The announcement is going to be a demo, and if you play this demo, you can transfer the save out to the main game. I like that. That should be an industry standard. Unfortunately, I guess it's a case-by-case basis, so I can't wait for that one. I'll try it out on the PlayStation 5 and see for myself. And then, interesting enough, from Hamster Arcade. So they introduced Arcade Archive Rave Racer. So it's another new Rage Racer. I guess it was only in the arcade only. Not to be confused with Rage Racer, which is that's a PlayStation exclusive. So this is called Rave Racer. It's supposed to be a sequel to the arcade version of Rage Racer. I mean, it is what it is. And not only that, they are now introducing a new category. So you have Arcade Archive, which is just arcade game. You got the ACA Neo Geo, which is Neo Geo game. I think they're done with it, whatever they could. There are some Neo Geo games that hasn't been released as an ACA, but because of license issues such as Windjammer, even though it was developed by DataAce for the Neo Geo, I think the ownership was like Kobapple. And the big one here that a lot of people wish is Voltage Kaiser Gao Lancer. Of course, if you don't know, it's like a futuristic fighter. Especially the main characters are like hot. You can see some of my video about it. And the artist is Masaru Obari, which he kind of doing some sort of like promotional with Fatal Fury, Save the Wolf right now. And he also did say that he want to bring this game in modern console, whatever form, Neo Geo, ACA, or anything. But right now, because of the license issue, it's Corbapple, so you're not going to be able to play it unless you do the rigged style. But it is what it is there. So now they'll introduce a third version called the Console Archive, which is console gaming now on modern consoles. So they showed some such as Sonic Wings Special, which is a Super Famicom game, Digimon Famicom, and two that's already been out in Shadow Drop, Ninja Gaiden 2 for the NES, and Cool Borders for the PlayStation. Yeah, so even PlayStation are willing to put their games on the console archive. And if you don't know what's the deal with Sony, in the case with Cool Borders, is that it was just published by Sony when the PlayStation 1 came out, but yeah, it's a different developer. So probably the rule is that, hey, you can use our Sony IP, but we're just not going to publish it with someone else. I mean, you're going to notice with Patapon and Everybody's Golf, any Sony property game that's going to be published for multi-console, they're probably just giving permission to Namco Bandai. It is what it is there. But kudos for them. And then there are some montage of games for the Switch 2, such as Tales of Arise, finally going to be on the Switch 2, 30 frame, but whatever. There's even Disney Valley, and there is one that it's not going to be on the PlayStation 5, kind of interesting to some extent. Eden, it's what it's called. It is a mobile game. I had played it before. Interesting about this game is that some of the people who work on Pro Trigger are working on this game. That's why. And this particular mobile game is going to be coming out on the Switch, Switch 2, and Steam. No PlayStation. I don't know why. It's going to be free to play, or it's going to be a paid mobile game, kind of like Mega Man X Dive Offline Edition. We just have to wait and see. But hey, you know, a lot of games, a lot of options for the Nintendo Switch, Switch 2. And I'm going to end it with Resident Evil Requiem. They show more about the game. Again, remember, there are two game styles for this one. You play as Ashley. It's going to be like your classic Resident Evil trying to survive. While Leon is going to be like more actiony. Not so Resident Evil 6 style, but some say that he can defend himself. He can counterattack. Like, he's not afraid. And I did talk about it in a different video. And they finally reveal the amiibo. Yes, it is an Ashley and Leon amiibo. Use it in the game. You unlock skin for the gun. That's it. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, maybe because you're an amiibo collector, you'll buy the amiibo and then you might buy the game. I mean, it might work, it might not. Again, third pillar, just saying there. But however, people notice that the amiibo quality might be down again. Because if you didn't know, and I'll talk about it in a different video, that some of the amiibo had a price adjustment to some extent. The ones that are not yet released. So, the Super Mario Galaxy amiibo, they're now $5 down, $40 now it's $35. The Super Mario Wonder amiibo are now $25. Even the Meta Knight in his Air Rider is now $45 rather than $50. Again, what happened to the amiibo in the past? Well, the price has already been set. Can't do anything about it. But like I said, if they're going to be sale, just like that happened with Sages and Street Fighter 6, then I wouldn't be surprised for this one. Because like I said, they got so bad of trying to sell this at a high price that there been a point where they were selling it under $10 because nobody was buying it. What do you think why? But again, that'll be a different story there. So yeah, so amiibo, apparently they showed it. You can see it on the social media side like X. The quality might not be there, but again, maybe it's just a prototype, just have to wait and see. Because the amiibo's not going to come out until summer anyway. So there you go. Of course, if you're wondering what the last announcement for the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, and that is Bethesda game. Don't give a shit about it, but hey, options there. So, thoughts? For me, I like it. So, what score would I give for the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase 2026? I would give it a 7 out of 10 because, yeah, most of the games already been out for other platforms. Unless your only console is a Switch 2, then it kind of makes sense. That's the whole point that, hey, look, we're Nintendo, but we do have third-party games. We get it that, hey, it's been already another console, but it is, to some extent, it is focused on people that only have a Switch 2, and that's it. If you have multiple platform, then that's not really for you. Steam, to some extent, it is what it is. What can you do? But they do have some surprises, such as, like I said, Bomberman Collection. That's a surprise one. Tsubasa Soccer 2. I didn't even know that they're going to do a sequel. And then an expansion for GranBlue Fantasy ReLink. I mean, yeah, why not? And more offer for Arcade Archive and their new category, Console Archive. I mean, yeah, retro. And the best part here also, there's a lot of anime games, which I like. I like anime. So, Dreamcast guy, screw you. So anyway, so it's not bad, it's not good, but people do want that first-party game. Yeah, there are first-party games that's already been announced, such as Fire Emblem Fortune Weave. So there's no release date yet. There's going to be Tomodachi, that's going to be on April. Tpia, that weird Pokemon spin-off game. That's going to be the end of February. Super Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition. Splatoon Raiders. So there's already like Nintendo game that's already announced. And like I said in a different video, one Nintendo game per month at least. It might not be a cup of tea, but at least they have first party games. And spoiler, during the financial report, Furukawa did say that there will be more Switch 2 Edition games that's going to come. Like it, lump it, it's up to you. So there you go. My thoughts about it. It's not bad. It's not good. There were some wow factors, but not so much. That's why it's a 7 out of 10. But at least Nintendo offering third-party games. It's not like the Wii U. Let's just say, I mean, the Switch 2 is not a Wii U, but to some extent, it's sort of kind of have the same feeling because, yeah, you're gonna have third-party games, but they're late. They're not side by side. And yeah, there are games that's gonna be side by side, such as Final Fantasy Remake Part 3. The director already confirmed that, like I said before. Resident Evil Requiem is going to be side by side, and some of these games that announced are probably going to be side by side. Yeah, there are some disappointment that some people said that, oh, it should have been in direct, but it wasn't. The rumor about Metaphor Fantasia, there was a rumor that's going to be the Switch 2. No announcement as of right now. Clear Obscure Expedition 33. I heard it's a good game. It's back to basic what a JRPG is. Again, there was some rumor about it, just never announced. Just have to wait and see. So, but there you go. Not bad, not good. But the end of the day is for Nintendo fans, you guys have games. Relax. So if you're like me and you're treating your Switch 2 as a secondary console just to play your Nintendo games, then yeah, it is what it is. But for the rest who only have a Switch 2, it kind of makes it for this direct. Just saying. I mean, you never know. I mean, the end of February, it's been confirmed, there will be a Pokemon %. Gen 10, finally, Game Boy Advance game on the end and so, and then finally going to do some sort of transfer feature, finally, for the Switch 2. Again, February 17, Virtual Boy NSO. I mean, there's a report that Labo, if you have that, you can use it, but now they're saying you can't. So if you can't, that's unfortunate, bullshit. But again, to some extent, for the $50, you're not really paying $50 to play Virtual Boy. It's just there. Remember, there's still GameCube, GBA, and 64. Just saying there. And then, maybe Mario Day. There's going to be something. They're going to announce something. Maybe Nintendo Direct. Maybe not. Who knows? But patience is the key. Nintendo at least giving something, giving option. That's all I can say. So, with that, I'll see you guys later.